All right. Welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev AMA Q&A live stream. It's Sunday night. My name's Kevin. We try to do this twice a week. We've been pretty consistent about that. Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. Try to cover different time zones. And the way we work this is like office hours, theoretically. So come and go as you please. Hopefully the hope is maybe we can help answer some questions about game dev and Unreal Engine or anything like that. In the absence of questions, generally speaking, what I'm doing is I'm just streaming, making my own game. The whole point of all this is, I work in game dev professionally. I get to do a lot of cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of cool stuff I don't get to do. And this is a chance for me to stumble through that with all of you in public. So I went through some of our previous videos. I didn't see any questions. And with that, what that means is we're just gonna hop right in. Now, if you recall, last time we left off, where we were was we had just finished adding stun to grenades and pushback to grenades and things like that. And we were starting to try to look into the item system and wrap our heads around how all that stuff is. Well, good news, I did some homework and I was able to figure out a lot of really cool stuff. So let's hop in. Double check and make sure that we don't have any questions or anything like that as we get going. So first, before we get too far into this, let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I found. And this is actually going to be a little bit off the beaten track from doing stuns and grenades. Keeping in mind with recalling what our objective is right now, our focus is, what we're trying to get to is we're trying to make a frost grenade. And one of the reasons we're trying to make a frost grenade is because we want to be able to freeze and blow people up when they're frozen, but it actually does a lot of really cool things from a gameplay standpoint. It forces us to learn how to do stuns, it forces us how to create a new weapon, it forces us to figure out how to use equipment slots, and a bunch of stuff with the material systems. So you'll see in here, first off, this little dude here, this is going to be what our frosty dudes look like when they get frozen. This actually will be based on where the frozen damage is coming from, which is cool. If this material is an awesome material, you can find it if you just do a search for frost grenade VFX. There's a real-time VFX stuff, and they got a cool thing with lobsters that blow up, and I just thought it was cool. And the reason we're using it is because it was fast, it was already done, and this is prototype. So if it's fast and ready to go, then let's just use it. The other thing that you'll notice here is all of my pads now have colors. It was driving me insane. I could not for the life of me figure out why these weren't working. And it turns out Lyra just didn't really implement them. The pad colors were being set as you place them. And the thing that didn't make sense about that for me is if it's based on where you place them. Hold on, let me go back to my weapons spawner deal. This is going to be the weapon pickup data for the pistol. And if we look at the pickup data for the pistol, you'll notice that this is the pickup data for the pistol. And then if you go one more layer deeper, you will finally realize, not the static mesh. Come on, Kevin. Let's try that again. If you go into the item definition for the pistol, then you will finally get to a thing where it shows a pad color, right? But for the life of me, I could not figure out, it was like this was not being used. So what I did is I went through and let's see, where did I do this? Okay, so what I did is on begin play and one other place. The overall point here is I grabbed from the weapon definition, the inventory item definition, and then from that, I was able to get the fragment for the pickup icon, and from that, I could get the pad color. And then I was able to set the pad light color, and as well as the pad color itself, as well as the gun pad color for the Niagara effects, which is why now when we look at our combat gym, all of these pads are actually the colors of the weapons as they're set in the item definitions and not on the pad. Now, this is interesting because, let's see if I can find an example. That's green, that's pink. Let's try to change this one. This is our beam cannon, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's change this to bright orange. And it actually sounds like my camera may have quit. Thanks for nothing, camera. I'll see if I can fix that here in a second. Okay, so our beam cannon, even though we changed it to orange, you'll notice that the pad color is still blue. And that's because the pad is being overridden. The pad color is being overridden by the item definition. So this is one of those spots where, actually we didn't actually change the light color. Let's double check this. Let's go. Oh, actually it won't matter. Yeah, it's not gonna matter because what happens is in the construction script this is getting set. So I can change this to bright pink and you'll see it still stays blue. So basically this weapon pickup light color is almost pointless at this point. And this is one of those examples of why are there two places that the color is being set. Now, I would potentially argue that this should not be done here in the item definition, because if we look at this item definition, the item definition takes a fragment that is the appearance of the, so it basically takes a fragment that is inventory fragment reticle, no, beam cannon, inventory fragment pickup icon. All right, and in that pickup icon it has the color, but if it doesn't have one of these, then you're not going to get a color. So what we could do back here is when we grab this inventory item definition and we get the pickup icon, if the return value is bogus, we can basically just not do this, which is probably reasonable to do anyway. So if it's valid, we'll do this. Otherwise, we're not going to do anything. And that's in the begin play. And in the construction script, do we do the same thing here? Actually, hold up a sec. We want to make sure there's not something that happens after this. Sets the light color to the pad color. And the material parameter one. Okay, yeah, so this is all cool. But in the construction script though, there's a lot more that happens after this. So this is going to set the intensity and all these things. Target pad color sets the light color. And then what are we going to do with this light color? Let's check our variables. Light color, find references. Yeah, so then we're using a light color to do all of this stuff. I think all we need to do is basically, you can pop an is valid here. And if it's valid, we're going to come through here. And if it's not, we just keep going. Pretty sure that'll do it. Okay. Alright, so let's just compile and save that. Should be fine. And if we go back to our gym, you know, all of our stuff should still be working. It would just be in the case of if we didn't have that artifact or that fragment, and then we can test that. We can actually test that later. Let me take a quick break here, or pause for a quick second, and see if I can sort out what is going on with the camera. It does not have power, it looks like. Well, that's no point now. There we go. That should do it. Cool. Okay, so that was just one thing that was driving me nuts. Something I found and fixed. But again, this is one of those things where it's like sometimes it seems like in the Lyra project I am seeing repeats of things, like 2 skeletal meshes, and it looks like one of them's not being used. And I still think that's the case based on our charting here. You can see we have a skeletal mesh down here in the weapon blueprint, and we also have one in the item definition. And I believe one of these is not being used, but we'll track that down later. I'm not going to stress too much about that. So anyways, that was cool. Made some progress there, which was fun. Then, if you recall, last time we started trying to look at the items. We started trying to figure out how inventory worked and everything like that. Oh my goodness, did I learn a ton this past since Wednesday. I'm not even sure where to start. I'll tell you what, let's start with this. If you look in Lyra, there is an entire inventory test map. And if I load this up, and we're not gonna get super far into this, but we're gonna definitely get into it because I want to show you what we learned. All right, so this inventory test map is pretty straightforward. It's just a single map on it, and each of these 6 interactable rocks is basically exactly that. It's an interactable rock that you can actually pick up, and it inherits, and it is a Lyra world collectible, and it implements, let me see where I can find this, class defaults, data layers, cooking, input, where is it? I'm looking for the rock. Advanced, not replicated movement. Here we go. Lyra, so over here on the right, in our Lyra World collectible stuff, there's an option, and it actually gets the item definition for a test ID rock. So the test ID rock is an inventory test. It's just some items that they made, and you can see that the information for this rock is it's got a fragment for the quick bar icon, and here's where we're setting our brushes and things like that. Interestingly enough, there's some ammo brush which wouldn't necessarily be used for the rock, but either way. So we have this rock in this level, and what happened was when I started to play, nothing happened, nothing worked. And through a bunch of trial and error, I basically discovered that this is half finished. Now, you'll notice that now when I walk up to this rock, I can actually interact with it. If you go to start the Lyra inventory experience, you're not going to be able to interact with this. There were a couple of issues. The plugin itself wasn't scanning a proper folder for the interactions. I'm pretty sure there was some weird things where I had to put some breakpoints in to get that. The other thing is that you'll notice is if you look at the ability sets for this map, let's see here, let me find them for you. Okay, so here's our world settings. Here's our default gameplay experience. And in the test experience, we have hero data shooter game, and then we have all these action sets. The interesting thing was the Lyra action set for the inventory test clashed with the action set for the shooter game, in the sense that E is melee in the shooter game, and E was also pick up inventory item. And so that didn't work. So you basically have to remap a bunch of these things. And what I did is I just changed these so that I'm pretty sure I put them on U and I. Double check. Inventory test. Here we go. So basically interact is on U and inventory is on I. I had to do that so that it wouldn't clash. So I stumbled through a bunch of this stuff, and then I got, I'm gonna say, fairly far along. Everything was interacting. I could collect stuff and all kinds of everything. And then I found this killer GitHub entry by Garashka. And it's basically called Fixing Lyra's Inventory System. And the thing that was cool about this, and then actually, well, one is Garashka's done an excellent job of explaining everything that was wrong in here. Now, there are a couple bits about this that I'm super stoked and proud about. Most everything that was done in here, I had done at least half of them already. So I was like, oh, I'm doing the same thing. So some of us are actually thinking alike, which is cool. And the rest of this stuff was, I'm not even sure it's stuff that you have to do, but it does help round it out. So I would basically recommend, if you want to get in this, like, nothing's gonna top Garashka's step-by-step on how to do this. It does require some coding to help out, but it's super well explained. Now, the other thing that I learned as a result of just going through Garashka's stuff, and I'm probably saying that name wrong, but the other thing that I learned by going through this stuff is I finally figured out what fragments are. So it turns out that Lyra uses a composable item and weapon system. And what that means is that not every single weapon is going to have every single part. And I was super confused by this when I was looking at it, but now it's much clearer. It makes way more sense. I'm still trying to wrap my head around if it's overkill, but it sort of doesn't matter anymore because I kind of understand what's happening. But basically, what it means is a weapon, or in this case, a item definition, is made up of a series of fragments. All right, and all of these fragments are optional. You don't have to have every single one of them. You can pick and choose what you want to make up your item definition. So in this particular case, it's an equipable item, we have a quick bar icon, we have the fragment set stats, the pickup icon, and a reticle config. The minute I realized how this was working, it helped clarify a ton of stuff. And this also potentially, I'll have to take a look at how this skeletal mesh ties into the other one, but this is going to hopefully help us answer the other bit too. So again, fixing the Lyra ability system was great. I went through that. It helped clarify a couple things, and it was awesome just from an affirmation standpoint that I was doing something wrong, or that I was doing the same thing as some other people were doing. Now, as a result of that, what we have now is we're able to walk up to an interactable object, and we're able to press U to pick it up, right? Which is what we want. Now, the other bit about this, and let me bring back my chat to make sure we're not missing any. Okay, cool. The other bit about this, though, is now that we have these interactables, we want to be able to see them. And we thought we were doing all of this. I'm just going to bring up the inventory. All right, so here's our inventory. We have 1 gun and 3 happy faces, which is our rocks. the whole reason we were doing this is because we were looking for a way to add a different grenade, right? We're trying to add a frost grenade. And I thought we needed access to the inventory system to do that. I do not believe that that is the case anymore. This was still an amazing detour. I'm super thankful we went down this trip. I can even pick up stuff with the UI open. Oops, let me get rid of this breakpoint, which is cool. But I've come to two realizations as a result of this. One, the Lyra experience is not complete. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but not only is it not complete, through a combination of the pad colors and the inventory system and all those kinds of things, there's complete, there's prototype, and then there's just kind of like, they just didn't get to it all, which I understand. There's a lot to cover in here, but this inventory system is going to need a ton of work, even to bring it up to speed to where we were before we switched to Lyra, because we basically piggyback off the backbone of the ARPG one, and that had a full, you could buy items with, we had implemented plasma, you could buy items with plasma, all this kind of stuff. Okay? And the UI had, what was in your inventory versus what was in the store, everything. This is going to take some work. None of these buttons are even clickable yet. And so in some of our future stuff, we'll make this more usable, but in a prototypey way for now. Let's see here. Let's get rid of that. So we now have an inventory system that works. We can now pick up collectibles, interactables, all these things, and we can actually, I just have a much better understanding of how all this works, but I'm still not any closer to making this grenade. So I think today, right now, after that quick recap, we're gonna try to fast track the grenade. And to do that, I think what we want to do is we're just going to make some duplicates here. And let's just make this work. So here's our gameplay ability for our grenade. And then we also have our blueprint for our grenade. So shooter core content, weapon, grenade. It's weird to me that we have weapon and weapons, and we have a grenade in both folders. Okay. One of them is the actual grenade, and the other one is just the blueprint. I don't see why you wouldn't just move the blueprint into the grenade folder and keep it there. But what we're gonna do is, we started to make this Uber grenade. I think rather than making an Uber grenade, we're just gonna call this the Frost grenade. We're just gonna make this work for right now. So let's just go Frost grenade. And then let's just copy everything from grenade over. Copy here. Go in here. Let's do, okay, this is gonna be cool. I think I have access to this. Tools. Wait, is it the right click? Asset actions, bulk edit. No, that's not what I want. That's interesting. At work, there's a bulk rename. Bummer. I wonder if that's a plugin. Doesn't look like it. I'll have to figure out where that came from. I was hoping to do a bulk rename, so we're gonna go Frost. I'm gonna put Frost in all this just to make it clear. Frost. Won't take too long because there's not. Frost. And now the reason I'm keeping the damage is because we are going to do Frost. We are actually going to do Frost grenade, Frost grenade, Frost grenade, Frost grenade. We are actually going to do damage with our frost grenade. But there's a whole lot of gameplay questions as a result of this. And we're just gonna have to figure those out. What I want to do. Oh, this has an action touch button in it. Can I change this? Yeah, I'm gonna make this green or red for right now, because I want to make sure I know when we're using this one versus the other ones. Do that. It's interesting. Control S doesn't work. All right. And then all of these are going to be referencing the wrong stuff. And what I mean by that is, let's see if our gameplay effect is going to has overflow effect, 0 array element, has duration, has magnitude. Grenade detonate. So this is all referencing grenade detonate. Goku Craft. Hi, welcome. How you doing tonight? We're making frost grenades. What are you up to? I'm trying to make frost grenades. Going slow so far. So this is referencing the original grenade. We actually want to. We're gonna have to update a bunch of these. This is our gameplay notify. Our gameplay notify references the Unreal 5. Migrated to 5, I don't know, it's been a few months now. So these are the explosions for the grenades. That's where all that stuff is, that's cool. And then we have the damage. We have the gameplay effect for the damage for the grenade. Damage taken, library health set. Okay, so that's fine. And this is base damage. And it's using the curve for grenade damage. All right, so this is a great example. See this curve for the grenade damage? We want it to use the curve for the frost grenade damage, so that at least we know it's referencing the right thing. And there's a quicker way to kind of visualize a bunch of this stuff. If we take and we do a reference viewer on this dude is basically standalone, and it has a reference to the gameplay queue weapon grenade detonate. All right, and if we do a reference viewer on this dude, so these are all the effects, grenades, explosions, and the actor it's being spawned. Oh, you've never used Unreal, Goku. What engine are you using? Are you using Unity? So we're gonna need to make a new gameplay tag, I think, for detonate, because we're gonna want to do. We're basically gonna need a gameplay queue weapon frost grenade Unity. How is it? I mean, I'm obviously biased because. Well, I guess part of the reason I'm biased is because I know a whole lot more about Unreal than I know about Unity. Most of the work I've done in Unity has been primarily on the front end with characters and things like that. One of the things that was kind of one of the things why I decided to use Unreal for my own personal project is twofold. One, when I kind of was digging into Unity a little bit, everything required some kind of scripting or programming. It just seemed very heavy on that side. And one of the things that I loved a lot about Unreal was the blueprint scripting, right? Basically visual scripting. It's just so much fun. So that's one bit of it. The second bit, and probably an even larger reason, is the current project I'm working on at work uses Unreal. And so, and there's, there's different projects using different engines and stuff like that. And I just wanted to kind of like double my learning. So everything that I do at home, all the stuff I'm learning here as we're stumbling through this, I'm actually able to take that and apply that directly in the office. And it's actually, it definitely does help. I have a much, better understanding of what's going on, especially because at home, I'm working on this stuff that I don't get to do at work. So as a result, I have a better understanding of all the other disciplines I work with. So for example, my understanding for engineering and designers and level design, once we get into lighting and all those kinds of things, I'll be able to hopefully take that and better communicate and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to do it as a bunch. I work as a game developer. All right, so let's see here. I think what we want to do is for this gameplay notify, let's edit this dude. And the tags, where's our tags in here? These are our burst decals. Here we go. Here's our tag. So if we edit these tags, I think what we want to do is we want to add a new weapon. We're going to call it Frost Grenade. Dude, I didn't even know Windows 11 was out. My goodness. Okay, so we have Frost Grenade, and we're going to need a detonate and a cooldown here. Detonate, detonate. And we're going to need a cooldown. How did they spell this? Cooldown with capital C. Cooldown. Add new tag. Okay, but that's not the tag we want to use. We want to keep it as detonate. Okay, cool. Now, what that means is, so this is the gameplay queue notify for the Frost Grenade, which is cool. We're using the right one. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that whatever ability is calling that detonate, or wherever that's, oh, you know what, it's getting called in the blueprint. So let's go to, I'm pretty sure it's in the blueprint. Where is it? If we go into grenade, which is up here, and we look at this blueprint, gameplay, that's the effect, detonate the grenade, execute the actor, deactivate, sphere overlap, weapon capsule, character default. Here we go, gameplay tag, grenade, grenade detonate. I haven't even seen Windows 11. Hold on, let me look at that real quick. Windows 11. First thing I want to look is Windows 11 good. Windows 11 is worth it for most people. Da-da-da-da. All right, maybe I'll upgrade. I'm not doing it right now though. I just finished upgrading to Unreal Engine 5. I don't want to slow down the stream stuff, but that's cool to know. What kind of game are you making, Goku? Gokuo? Am I saying that right? Gokuo Craft? Or is it Gokuo Craft? Alright, So let's see. That's where that's being done. What we need to do is we actually need a copy of this grenade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this in the frost grenade. Copy here. So here's our frost grenade. We're going to call this blueprint frost grenade. I think eventually we're making this as we're just making this straight ahead. But I think actually what's going to happen is, as a result of making this, we're going to learn that we can have one grenade blueprint, and depending on whether it's a fire grenade or a frost grenade or a poison grenade or whatever, we can change the type by either using different gameplay effects or something like that. So we're not just duplicating everything, or we can basically inherit from a parent grenade class and then override the stuff that we need to. Why don't you go back to Windows 10 then and just wait till it stabilizes? Okay, so now we have our frost grenade, and our frost grenade, we need to use the frost grenade detonate instead of the regular grenade detonate, which is cool. Let's compile and save this. Now there's going to be a ton of other things we're going to have to update with this as well. So let's just do a quick reference viewer on this. So the frost grenade, I'm curious why choosing the default character. I do want to make it clear. Serial killer, welcome. You made it. You were able to stay up late enough. Goku, I work. No, I don't think we have. No, we don't. We don't have anything in Steam. I work at Riot Games, so all of our stuff goes through the Riot client. Serial, yeah, a bunch of stuff. I'm stoked to see you again. Happy Sunday night. We are one. You made it up. Nice work. And also I started on time, and I actually clicked the button, so it's actually streaming this time, which is, you know, super bonus. Relax. I'm a professional. No, not at all. All right. So quick updates. We're kind of just getting into the frost grenade actually, because I did a bunch of updates early on in the stream about how we got the pads working properly, referencing the item definitions, but the big one was the inventory system, right? Lots of just awesome progress with the inventory system. So anyways, so we got our frost grenade. That's working, and what I want to do though is I want to make this visually different, so that I wonder if there's an easy way to do this. I guess it doesn't matter. That's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. So let's see here. Let's make sure that this reference viewer is clean. Okay, it's not. The GCN frost grenade detonate is using B grenade. Not good. All of this other stuff, that's fine. We can reuse that. It is using frost grenade detonate. So is this because we just haven't compiled and saved it? No, we compiled and saved it. Where is the grenade? How is it using B grenade? Burst particles. Burst sounds. Burst animals. No. Let's see what's listed here. Grenade. Nope. On burst. Ah, okay, so here's what's happening. This is getting cast to a B grenade, and it's doing some stuff with team colors. We can fix this easy. And this would be a great reason, again, to... I think once we get the frost grenade done, we'll have a better understanding of how this stuff works, and then we can just make one grenade that does frost and fire, and all that stuff. So we're gonna cast this to a frost grenade instead. And then my favorite hotkey is the control key because it lets me move pens without having to hunt for where they came from. And we're gonna get team color. So this is gonna clean this up. Compile that. And when we go back, we're going to double check our references here. Somehow that is still referencing B grenade. So there must be another cast somewhere. There's nothing in the event graph. Interesting. Class defaults? I don't see it. Alright, well, compile and save. Where's our GCN? Frost grenade. Compile. Let's save that. Reference viewer again. There we go. Now we're referencing our B frost grenade. That's cool. Okay, so continuing our cleanups. Reference viewer on the damage. Damage is basic damage. That's fine. Grenade damage. We want it to use our curve frost damage. I'm not sure why it's not. Damage type basic. Damage type grenade. Maybe we want to look at that one. And grenade damage curve. So let's double check this. Because I thought, here, look, this is our, oh, it's not compiled. That's why. So let's go back to that. And reference view this again. Doesn't look like it's updated yet. Pretty sure we got that covered. For some reason it doesn't think so though. That's okay. And then let's take a look at this one. Reference viewer. Okay, this frost grenade cooldown is referencing the grenade detonate. That doesn't make any sense. Let's double check this. Granted tags. Combine tags. So let's edit this and let's change this to weapon frost grenade detonate. Okay. Oh, and we want to get rid of the regular grenade detonate. Alright, and then let's see here. We're using a curve table up here. Compile and save that. C++, yep. Serial, you're both in Twitch? Yes, you can see that. So Serial's just answering Goku's question. Does Unreal use C#? C, yeah, C#, C pound, C++. Alright, Unreal is C++. Alright, so we have our frost grenade. What we don't have is we don't have weapon item definitions. One thing we could do, well, we actually need to take a look at a couple other things. So our gameplay ability for the grenade, if we browse to that, is in the input abilities. It's kind of a weird place for it because the gameplay abilities for all the other weapons is in with the other weapons, I believe. Ish. Alright, we don't need the interact, we can close that down. We're gonna get rid of the grenade. Let's browse to here. I'm gonna copy this to our frost grenade. Because that's the only one. Wait, do I want to copy this? What's in here? This does on activate ability. Checks the cost, cooldowns, commits, class defaults. Oh, this is all grenade stuff. Input tag, it's weapon grenade, spawn location. Okay, so one thing we could do, of course, it's definitely, I forget, Goku asks, wonder if it's impossible to commit. One of our earlier streams, sometime last month, somebody hopped in and that's what they were doing. They were literally building their own game engine. I was like, straight diesel, man. Dude is on it. So absolutely. I mean, that's where Unreal came from. That's where Unity came from. Somebody built their own game engine. And actually, think about all the studios that have their own proprietary engines, right? Now, it's not a small amount of work. I'll throw that out there. All right, so this grenade, all this grenade does is it spawns a B grenade. And then here's a throw, etc. Now, what I want to know okay, again, for speed, we're just gonna copy this and try to get this set up. So let's copy this. And we're going to go with gameplay ability. I'm gonna call this Frost Grenade. Frost Grenade. And also, let's reload our combat gym. Serial, did you see our frost material? I'm excited by this. It's gonna be cool. Let's see here. So we have our Frost Grenade. Where's our Frost Grenade? So we have our gameplay ability for Frost Grenade. And what we want to do is we want to change this to spawn. I can't take credit for that. That's the person from Real Time VFX who did the lobster Frost Grenade thing, which is just freaking awesome. So good. Alright, so let's spawn actor, class Frost Grenade. Frost Grenade. Can we compile this? Okay, so now we are spawning a Frost Grenade. We need to find a way to make it obvious that that's spawning. So let's go to that Frost Grenade. And because this thing is pretty generic, let's just throw in, let's see here. What we're going to do is let's just add a couple spheres. Not that big though. Holy shnikes, that's big. We're gonna make it just super clear that this is our Frost Grenade. Okay. Okay, that'll work. And then let's make this blue. There's got to be a blue material somewhere in the Lyra project. Anim sharing blue. Yeah, we can just put the Manny blue on it. What does it look like? Undo. Yeah, that's fine. That looks frosty. Blue. Okay, so we got this grenade now. We have our gameplay ability that spawns a grenade. Now let's look at our ability set for our map. Okay, so let's track this down. Here's our map. Default game experience combat gym. So if we go to combat gym, we open that up, we're gonna have our hero data, our shared input, and our accolades. And then here's our abilities. So abilities are elimination. There's only one? Okay, so that's not it. This is the component list and elimination. So it's gotta be. It's either shooter accolades or this Horde War shooter. Input data shooter. Here we go. Horde War shooter hero ability set. This is the one we're looking for. And then right here, there should be a grenade in here. Grenade C. Okay. Moment of truth. We are going to keep the input tag as grenade. And we're going to change this to the frost grenade. Okay. Save that. So now when we play, oh, dude, did you see that? It was our frost grenade. We did something right. Okay, you can see it because when we throw it, it's got the two little knobby deals on it, right? So, or we're starting to wrap our head around Lyra now, right? I think we're starting to get there, which is cool. So we're spawning the right. We're spawning the right grenade. That's cool. We're doing damage. Let's see here. How much damage are we doing? If I throw this grenade, that was 120 something. And it's also slowing. Okay, I'm dead. Let's try this again. Okay, so if I throw a grenade and lands pretty close, 103. Okay, let's see if we can cut that in half. So we should be using, if we've done all this stuff right, access none, trying to read property, call cast a Lyra graph, character default. I'm gonna pretend that wasn't me. Let's save all because we did make some progress. And then let's take a look at our frost grenade. If we're using our frost grenade damage curve, what? Oh, here we go. This is based, that's, all right, that's not actually what I wanted to change. Let's use our gameplay effect damage from the frost grenade. Then let's see here, let's get rid of this. And we're changing our health state. It should be instant. Okay, so rather than 105, let's say 25. So now let's go through our grenade. And if we're actually using the right gameplay effects, we should do a lot less damage here. We did. I mean, unless I just got really lucky. I'd say that's right where 104. Okay. I don't think we're using the right curve. Bummer, dude. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Our frost grenade, if we look at the class defaults, it's calling gameplay tag frost detonate. Riles, how are you doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. We're making frost grenades. Trying to make frost grenades. What are you working on? So this is our gameplay tag for our frost grenade detonate. Let's do a browse on this. Browse on this. And let's take a look at the reference viewer. Okay, so frost grenade is being used by our gameplay ability for the frost grenade, and we have our gameplay queue notify for the frost grenade. Makes sense. And then we have our frost grenade detonate. For some reason, this is using the GE damage for grenade. That's not what we want. Let's edit this dude. How is that using the GE damage for the grenade? Oh, it's gotta be in the blueprints. Event graph. over here. GE damage grenade. Here we go. We need to change this to GE damage for the frost grenade. Got it. So is there anything else that jumps out that's obvious here? No, doesn't look like it. So theoretically, now when we throw our frost grenade, it should do much less damage. Double check. Wait. Okay, our shield's gone now. Alright, so now we can see how much they... 21, there. We got it. Alright. So what this tells us is we're actually using the right damage gameplay effect, which is cool. The other thing you'll notice is when I get damaged, I'm slowed. All of that stuff is still working. Now I'm slowly starting to get my mobility back. Now I'm full speed again. So all that blend out and everything is working. That's cool. We're throwing the grenade that we think we're throwing. That's cool. We're starting to get to the point where I think we should change some of these effects to make it clear. It's gonna be a lot of work. Okay, let's go back to this and look at our reference viewer. But I think for clarity, we're gonna want to do that. So that's our grenade trail. That would be an easy one to update. Let's just edit this. Or no, let's browse to this. So this is in content particles explosion. Let's see what is set up in this grenade trail. Does it have overrides? Show stats, orbit mode. We're already in orbit mode. Man, more often than not, I open up Niagara effects and you just don't see any. So this ribbon is red and this ribbon is red. Ah, it's being done based on the user team color. Interesting. There's two ribbons in here. They're both being set by the team color. What that tells me is, where does this thing get spawned? Reference viewer should get spawned in the gameplay ability for the frost grenade. So here's where we spawn it. Then we're throwing the grenade. Huh. I don't see it actually putting the trail on there. I guess the trail gets put on in here then. Grenade. Defaults. Nope, it's not in the defaults. Where's that happening? Browse. Reference viewer. Yep, it's definitely getting used in here. It's not in the class defaults. That's teleporting the grenade. Alright, so in here, when we set up the VFX, here we go. We're spawning a Niagara System grenade trail. Alright, now there's, again, here we are again. You know, do we really want to create a different trail, a different Niagara System for every single type of grenade? Or do we just want the trail to be a different color? And right now what they're doing is basically they're getting the trail, and then from that they're getting the team color, and depending on the team color, they're setting the Niagara system trail to be whatever that is. So what we could do as a shortcut, rather than setting the grenade to the team color, you know, there's something cool about that too. Sorry, Goku. Goku Craft asked if I have Discord. I don't really use Discord for the streams or anything like that. In general, not a whole lot. I'm not super awesome at all the social media stuff. Okay, so back to what I was saying about these trails. One of the cool things about this grenade trail is you can see who's throwing the grenades. Excuse me. So that's kind of cool. Right now the grenades do damage anyway, so I don't think it matters. But for the purpose of clarity, what we could do, just so that we know, is if we make a color and we set it to bright green, when we throw our frost grenade, we should see a green trail now. It's a very green trail. So maybe bright green's a little bit much. Let's go to bright blue, because it is a frost grenade. Alright. Alright, that's pretty good, right? Let's double that, because, you know, too much glow is always a good thing, right? No, not for visual clarity, but this is prototype. We don't care about visual clarity, we're just having fun. So now we got a very bright blue grenade trail. All right, that's cool. So now we need to fix the explosion. I think that the effect for the frost grenade is different enough from a normal explosion that we should probably just create a new explosion. And so let's just do that very quickly. Let's take this and let's duplicate it, and we're gonna call this Niagara System Frost Explosion. And I'm just gonna call it Frost Explosion because maybe we'll use it for something other than a grenade. All right, and let's open up this dude. Flying green comet, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's do a couple things. Again, thank you, good developers. A lot of this stuff is commented, all right? So if we look at our explosion, for example, my guess is this is all of our smoke. And if we take the color and we just tint this to blue, yeah. Okay, now, do we want smoke? No, we don't want smoke. But is it gonna work? Yeah, it's gonna work. We'll be able to know it's a frost grenade. The flare looks like it's mostly red. And so let's just change this to 0.4 and 1. So that's the flare, and the core, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna, so this is a good example of how this color picker works. You all may already know this, so if I'm telling you stuff you already know, just ignore me. But right now this is set to red, and you can see it's overshot, right? We got 50 in red, which makes this a really hot red. If you type in a different number here, or you move any of these things, all these numbers will go back to clamped values. But if you just move it to cast the color a little differently, you notice they all move a percentage of the total value, which is cool. So now our core should be mostly blue. I'm looking for, oh, this is our grenade-based flare material. And it's definitely red. Emissive color, particle color. Okay, so that should work. So let's close this down. And debris small, shock. Let's just turn everything off. Can we just, is there an isolate? Isolate, there is. Okay, that is not blue. That's clearly not blue. Interesting. Let's take all the red out and just go only blue. Oh, well, that worked. I guess it was just a little bit too much red. Let's go 1 and 1. Ah, that works. Okay, cool. So that's our core. Our flare, we're gonna do 0.2, 0.1. I really just don't like the smoke. Awful. Okay, that's fine. We can leave that there. Let's take our shockwave and let's also make that blue. I'm hoping we have that ability. Ah, it's using team color. It's using team color. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's change our sparks. Same thing. Let's tint them blues. Okay. So our sparks are blues. Check our light color. Change this to, nice blue. Again, all we're trying to do here is differentiate it. I'm not a super huge fan of the team color thing. I guess it's nice, but at the same time, yeah. And let's just take our debris. Guess we could do that. But we're gonna make it more of an icy color. Again, for differentiation. Okay. That's gonna work. Alright, so we have all that. It's definitely different. We'll have to find where the team color stuff is happening. And the explosion, let's see what's happening in this explosion. See if we can make it look better. It's a sphere. Random range float. Scale order. Ah, it's using a flip book or a pyro grenade. So I think this is potentially gonna feel let's try something. That's interesting. It's different. I don't know. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, that's not working at all. What is the default UV space on this one? They look similar. These are both. Let's double check this. It's a texture. Yep. And if we look at how many, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14 across. I'm guessing 14 down. Whereas this one is 8 across, 8 down. So that's why. There's got to be something about our flipbook settings over here or the frost explosion. 8. So this is gonna be, what did I say? It's 14, I think. Yeah. There we go. Does that look, I mean, it looks a little different. Let's do one more thing. Sprite size, sprite rotation. Where's the gravity on this thing? Oh, I see. It's fine. Sphere distribution. Fine, I know what that is. That's our transform. Velocity strength. Sub UV count, scaling the color, sprite sizes, dynamic materials stuff, renders. Dude, where's gravity? Maybe there is no gravity? Add velocity from point. Yeah, that's not what we want either. Here's the thing though, and this is the curse of all of this stuff. This is clearly not what I want, but it's different. And so, you know, rather than sitting here and playing with the dials and losing focus on what we're trying to do, we're just gonna go with this. Even though I don't want to, but we're going to. All right, so what we need to do is we need to find where this is getting spawned. Grenade explosion. Reference viewer. Being used by frost grenade detonate. So let's edit this. And we're going to change this to our frost grenade explosion. So we should be there. So now, when we throw our grenade, we got blue trails and blue explosions. And the decal is red. Nobody wants a red decal. That I'm allowed to fix, right? Decal. Team color. Choosing team color again. We can just disconnect this. And we'll just make linear color, and we'll do the same thing we did before, and let's go 100 on that. Make it super bright. Okay, visually, I can tell that that's different, right? I mean, do we agree? It's clear. It's clearer than, you know, not. I guess we probably need to have some alpha on this. But I think it will be clear for testing purposes when we throw a grenade. Yeah. That one is a frost grenade and one is a regular grenade. Now, we're a little bit over, which is, you know, fun, and as much as I would love, I actually, because we're starting to get to the exciting part, I really want to keep going, but I also have to work tomorrow. I don't want to. All right. I think I should wrap this up here, even though I don't want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to call that good. We made some progress. We're like I said, we're just getting to the exciting part where we have a grenade, we have separate damage, we have the froze and everything like that. I think the next steps that we need to look into are, well, we know we want to change the material, right? So we know we want to change when the person gets hit that they're going to freeze. That's going to be an interesting challenge. The other thing that we need to do is we need to, when we trigger a frost grenade, we actually need to probably stun and freeze the character a little bit more. And if you all do a search for frost grenade, Unreal real-time VFX, you'll see. I think it'll be cool to do some of the stuff that they're doing in there. So, anyways, we're going to continue with the frost grenade on Wednesday, and hopefully I'll do a little bit of homework to try to cheat to look ahead, so that we're constantly making progress, which is cool. If any of you have any questions, like always, throw them in the chat, or probably, since we're wrapping up, probably throw those in the comments and we'll try to get to those next time. Whether it's about frost grenades or something else in the future that maybe you want to kind of stumble through together, that would be cool. I am a little bit nervous about the material stuff that we have to do, because that is a whole other system in Unreal that we're gonna have to dig into and unravel. But it'll be cool. Not Unreal, actually. Materials in Unreal is not the problem. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of crazy Lyra has implemented with this stuff. So, Serial, Goku, Riles, everybody who hopped in, thanks for hopping in tonight. It's fun. And I will see you all hopefully Wednesday. If not, remember, Wednesdays are in the morning. If not, I don't see you on Wednesday. We'll be back again next Sunday. So have a great week, everybody.